Hey y'all, welcome back to MMA 101. My name's Nick, this is Travis, and today we're gonna go over the jab, which is the most important punch in any combat sport. We're gonna go over the very basics of the jab to build a solid foundation for all the other punches and kicks that we have in MMA. We're gonna go over, again, the basic techniques. We're also gonna cover some do's and some don'ts that you wanna keep in mind when you're starting out in sparring. And lastly, we're gonna cover some drills that you can do at the gym or at home to really build that muscle memory. All right, so breaking down the first jab, okay? When I'm throwing this jab, okay, I'm gonna be turning my shoulder over and my wrist over. You see how my thumb is facing the ground? That's where I wanna be, okay? Why? If I just throw a punch like this, my chin is going to be exposed for a right hand, okay? But if I turn this shoulder over, if I turn my hand over, my shoulder is protecting my chin to where if he throws an overhand, I'm at the very least slightly protected, okay? The next thing that you wanna see me do is turning my body slightly, okay? This is the movement that you wanna be doing when you're jabbing, okay? Reason being is that if I'm squared up like this, I can't really get any pop to it, right? The pop comes from the rotation and from my shoulders moving, right? That's where the pop comes, right? That's where the pop comes. Now, when you're doing your basic jab, you can step or you cannot step. It doesn't really matter. You can do either or. There's situations for each one, right? A power step is really gonna be when you, that's more of obviously a power jab, right? If I'm stepping into it, my whole weight is coming in, right? That's really to like get your opponent to stop moving, right? But if you just want to pop your opponent, you don't have to step, right? You could just be here and pop it out, right? Less power, but you get more speed and less of a telegraph, right? If Travis sees me stepping forward, he knows I'm gonna throw something, right? So he's gonna step back. But if I'm up here, right, and I'm not doing anything, and I just throw a jab, it's harder to tell, okay? So that's the basic jab. Okay, next jab that we're gonna cover is the double jab, okay? Now this one's a little trickier, but it's very useful, okay? We're gonna throw the first jab just like our regular jab, right? But I'm going to bring it in about 3/4 of the way before popping it back out again, okay? Bring it in about 3/4 of the way, pop it back out, okay? Boom, boom. Again, boom, boom. All right? Same technique as the first jab, but we're just bringing it halfway, popping it back out. All right? Last one we're gonna cover is the jab to the body. Now this is my favorite jab, but it's the hardest jab, okay? It's tricky to pull off and it's risky, okay? But if we do it properly, it's very effective, okay? So this is gonna be a little different from throwing a jab to the head, okay? If I'm not punching, it's gonna look like this, okay? I'm like lunging forward almost, basically, right? I'm lunging forward, okay? I want you to look at my upper body. See how it's not really moving? It's really my legs that are giving the depth to the punch. You wanna avoid this, okay? This is dangerous. We don't really wanna lean ever. Okay? When we're going in, it's just my legs. All right? From down here, it's just a regular jab, okay? Should be all one motion, right? Again, right? When we're leaning down this way, my head is going to go a little bit on the right side, or if you're southpaw, on the left. Why? If I go forward without moving my head at all, I'm going right into his punches. Okay, I'm gonna get hit with something, right? So to be safe, when I'm going for the body here, you wanna keep your head a little bit on the side so that if he throws anything, I'm at least a little safer than before, right? Okay, so those are the 3 basic jabs. All right, now we're gonna go over some basic do's and don'ts to keep in mind when you're sparring. These are like very basic tidbits of information that'll help you go a long way in sparring, okay? So, first do of a jab is you do wanna turn over, okay? Again, very important when I'm jabbing to turn my hand over like this and bring it back, okay? Travis was just telling me an analogy that he likes. It's like if you're reaching to grab something like a pipe and then taking it, right? You're reaching for something and then taking it, right? If you want to be like, it's like Mortal Kombat, you know what I mean? Like when you're going for a fatality and you're sticking it back out, that's what it's going to be like, right? You're reaching for something and then you're grabbing it, okay? But you want to make sure you're getting that rotation over because that's where you get the power, okay? The next do that I want to focus on, right, is that you do want to turn your shoulders over. We always want to do this. Always want to do this, right? Last do is that you always want to come back, okay? I like to say that like your hands are your friends with your face, right? You don't ever want to leave your face alone. You don't even want to leave him with just one hand, right? Usually you want to have both of your hands right next to your face. So if I throw a jab, I'm coming right back, right? Here, coming right back, right? Because Travis isn't just gonna take the jab, right? He's gonna respond with something. So I have to be here, ready for whatever he throws, right? I don't. I guess I don't have to. I can just... Okay, so it's don't cock, don't flare your elbows, don't come back low. All right, now we're gonna cover some of the don'ts that you wanna keep in mind, some red flags that you wanna avoid when sparring when it comes to the jab, okay? The first don't that I wanna look at, and it's the most common one, okay, is you don't wanna flare your elbow, okay? What does that mean? That means when I'm throwing a jab, I don't want to bring this elbow out, okay? This is not a jab, right? We're not jabbing like this. There's no power and there's no turnover here either, okay? We call this chicken winging, all right? We don't want a chicken wing. When I'm jabbing, my elbows are in and I'm turning over, okay? My elbow is not coming out here, right? Y'all see the difference? Okay? So, first don't chicken wing, all right? Second don't, which is also very common, is don't arm punch, okay? When we're throwing this jab, we're not bringing it back and throwing it, okay? We're not bringing this back like this, okay? It's popping out from where we're at, okay? It's a slight detail, but it tells your opponent what you're going to do, right? If Travis sees my hand going back like this, he knows I'm gonna throw something, whether it's a hook or a jab or anything, he's just gonna get out of the way, right? But if I'm right here and I just pop it out, it's harder for him to see, okay? So again, the power is coming from the rotation, not your arm. So you don't have to worry about bringing it back, okay? So don't telegraph. The last don't that I have, and this is super important, and it's one that honestly I struggle with and everyone struggles with because again, it's just a human reaction, is coming back low, okay? What does that mean? As I mentioned, when I punch, I want to always come right back, okay? But it's important to keep in mind how we're coming back, okay? I don't want to come back like this, okay? People end up in this position all the time. They jab and they just come back here, right? Nobody here is Floyd Mayweather. We cannot get away with that, okay? We're gonna get hit, right? If I go here and Travis throws something and I'm coming back down, I'm gonna get pinged, right? Ooh, right? But if I'm higher, right, if I come right back up, right, I have my left hand to protect me from whatever he wants to throw. Okay? So, last don't is don't come back low. Don't do this. Right back to your chin. Now that we've gone over the big ideas of the jab, I'm gonna show y'all 2 drills that y'all can do at home or at the gym to really refine that jab hand and to really build that muscle memory. All right, first drill we're gonna do is just a technique drill, okay? I'm going to practice all 3 jabs on my partner, okay? I'm gonna throw a regular jab, a double jab, and I'm gonna throw a body jab, okay? Again, regular jab, double jab, body jab, okay? We'll do that for about 3 minutes, then my partner's gonna go. He's gonna go regular jab, double jab, body jab, okay? Now, once y'all get the hang of that, y'all can start playing around with the order, okay? Turn it more into a flow drill, okay? So now, maybe I can do, right, first a double jab, then a body, and then the head. And then he goes, right? Bum, bum, bum. And then it becomes just a play, right? Back and forth, flowing. All right, y'all, so that was Jab 101, the very basics of it. We did some drills, we learned the technique, and we learned a couple red flags that we want to watch out for when we're starting out. I hope y'all had a good time and hope to see y'all in the next video.